Welcome to Always Ageless, the show where we celebrate thriving beyond years and explore the tools, stories, and insights that help us live our best lives, no matter our age. I'm your host, Valerie Van de Zilver, and today we're diving into an exciting topic that's changing the way we think about our aging and technology. You may have heard the word tech and say, this is not for you. Not true. Hold on. You're going to hear some things today that you may not even know exist, that are really exciting and may actually change the way you feel about your life and you're communicating with your seniors. So joining me today is Costin Tuculescu, the brilliant mind behind OnScreen Inc., a groundbreaking platform that's designed to connect seniors with their loved ones in ways that are simple, seamless, deeply meaningful, and in ways you wouldn't even imagine. When I first heard him speak about a year ago in Los Angeles, I thought, oh my gosh, that's a product I need for my mom and our family. And I've been after him for a long time. And finally, he was able to schedule time for us, right fresh out of being an award winner at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. So we're so excited to have him with us today. We're going to explore what age tech really means, why it's important, and how innovations like OnScreen are helping seniors overcome challenges like isolation and tech intimidation, which we all have, and people outside of our age group, even a little older, they definitely have tech intimidation. So plus, we're going to talk about the future of technology in the senior sector and why it's an industry to watch and all of the exciting changes that are even coming yet. So whether you're a senior yourself, whether you're a family member, or you're just curious about how technology is transforming aging, this episode is for you. It's packed with insights and inspiration you won't want to miss. So hold on, get your cup of tea, sit down, and hold on. Stay tuned as we connect the dots between age, technology, and living fully right here on Always Ageless. Costin, welcome so much. Thank you so much for being with us today. Can you share a bit about your background, how you got here, and what inspired you to create OnScreen?
Hi, Valerie. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. This is an honor and a privilege, and I really, really appreciate it.
So tell us about your background. Who are you? How did you get here? How did OnScreen come to be? What inspired you?
Yeah, so I guess we have a little bit of time, so I'll go all the way back.
Please
Um,
do.
I was born in Romania, in Bucharest, and I grew up there until my father essentially escaped communism.
Oh,
And this was, I believe, 1985 timeframe. And he escaped communism, came to the United States, and a couple of years later, myself, my sister, and my mother were able to rejoin him here in California. And coming to America was just this thing that was incredibly mind-blowing. I'll just share a couple of quick stories about what it was like growing up in Romania during communist time. Essentially, all store shelves are empty at all times until that shipment comes, and then it is emptied out again within 3-4 hours. Okay. So one thing I remember is the first day we came to California, my dad took us to a supermarket and showed us what a supermarket was, and just it was like mind blown. The other funny thing is I didn't have a banana until I was like 7 years old, and we had to wait for like 4 hours in line in Bucharest in the middle of winter to get one bunch of bright green bananas. My background as an immigrant has really shaped kind of an entrepreneurial story, and also my father had pushed me early on in my early 20s to become an entrepreneur based on some technology that I had built. Growing up, I went to Math and Science High School in Carson, California. I'll give a shout out to CAMS, the California Academy of Math and Science. And then I went to UC Irvine, and I got a computer science degree because I've always loved computers and technology. I got my first computer when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and always loved tinkering. And then as an entrepreneur, I went down the path of video conferencing somehow. I mean, that's another whole long story. But circa 2004, I started a company called Instant Presenter, and it was kind of like Zoom or WebEx, and you could do a podcast you could do a video webinar back in 2004 using our technology. I didn't know too much about raising capital or investors or how to build a technology company. So it took me a really long time learning on my own dime how to build a tech company. Eventually, I started another company called anymeeting.com in 2011. Instant Presenter was more of a webinar platform. AnyMeeting was more of a video conferencing and meeting platform like Zoom. And interestingly enough, Zoom also started in 2011. So we were kind of racing against Zoom, but they were up in Silicon Valley. We were in Southern California, and they kind of outpaced us. But we were very, very fortunate to find an amazing partner, a company named Intermedia, and they acquired AnyMeeting, and so that was a great success for us. And then I, with my background in video conferencing, I was just shocked and floored what happened during COVID.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, we all were, but
Well, and from the video conferencing perspective, it was like all we had were video calls to see each other,
yeah.
right? And Zoom. Like we were all quarantining, sheltering in place. And if you wanted to see your loved one, you had to know how to use Zoom. You had to know how to use FaceTime. You had to be tech enabled. Well, it was during this time that I got together with some friends, and it occurred to us, like, first of all, it's still pretty tough for our older loved ones to participate in these calls.
Yes.
They still struggle with technology, getting on a Zoom. What's a meeting code? What's a passcode? Where do I enter what? I got to download what? Is a real challenge. It kind of became like a 30-minute tech support call anytime you wanted to see an older loved one, right? And then the other thing that stood out to me was, as we were having all of these video calls during COVID, we're all huddling around your smartphone, maybe a tablet, maybe a laptop, or maybe your computer monitor. But
Right.
most of us have these incredible 50, 60-inch flat screens in our living room, and they're just gorgeous. This technology is just beautiful. And we mostly just sit there and it comes at us. And the idea was, what if we could use this beautiful screen to interact with each other? And for me, Star Trek, I've been a geek, math and computer science guy. I love Star Trek. There was always this beautiful screen that they would talk to alien races through, and it would,
Oh, yeah, of course.
right? It like, that was the way they communicated. So I was like, okay, well, I feel like there's an opportunity to improve the experience for older adults, and at the same time, take advantage of this beautiful screen. So we created OnScreen, and really been working on it ever since then. So that's somewhat of a background on how we got here, and I can continue to talk more about what OnScreen is.
Well, we're going to do that, and that's why you're here. We've got lots of questions, and we want to hear a lot about all the many features of OnScreen.
Yeah.
But briefly, when people hear age tech, they may not know what that means. So how would you define age tech in simple terms for our audience, especially for people who wouldn't consider themselves techie?
Yeah. So simply put, age tech is technology that helps support the aging process or helps support the elderly. It's technology built for older adults, and it's often simplified, made more accessible, and a lot of times it's for the older adults, but other times it's for the caregivers.
Right. Yes.
And age tech is a pretty large ecosystem, because since it includes the caregivers and it also includes the healthcare system that might be supporting the aging population. There's 53 million caregivers in the US. There's like 60 million seniors. And then there's all of the entire healthcare system, Medicare, all that. So if you're building a technology or a technology company that's touching those things, and you're trying to help people live longer, age better, deal with any age-related conditions like cognitive decline or dementia, then you might consider yourself to be an age tech company.
Yes. Yes. And we know, and we've mentioned it so many times on this show, that over 11,000 people a day are turning 65. And pretty soon, in not too many years, the population, there will be more people over 65 than there are under 18. So certainly the demographic is certainly changing.
Yeah.
So that
I
really,
do want to touch upon one thing that you said right there. And one part about age tech that's interesting and also challenging is a 65-year-old is considered a senior and a 105-year-old is considered a senior.
yes.
They are so drastically different. There's an entire lifetime between those two folks. And the label of senior or older adult, it's such a generalism when you're trying to build a solution, when you're trying to build technology to solve a problem related to aging. That for us, for example, we don't think about the 65-year-olds that much. They're mostly rocking and rolling on their iPhones, right? We start to look at the 75 or 80 plus. And so most companies working in age tech, they will define their target customer, their problem set much more tightly than senior or older adult that's, part of those 11,000 turning 65 today.
So you may have read the book. If not, I highly recommend it. Stage Not Age. And it was written by a Stanford professor who made this a project for her class or for her schooling, her academic area. And they came up with different names for people that are other than elderly. And her idea is exactly this, that you can have two people who are 75 and one of them is about to pass away for illness or whatever reason, doesn't walk, isn't active, and another one is me, right? Still working and enjoying life and having a great business, starting new businesses. And my mom's 105 and she lives on her own, and we signed her up for OnScreen, by the way. So we're excited to bring that into our home. So yes,
well, obviously, I gotta say, Valerie, you obviously have amazing genetics.
We hope so.
Your youthfulness and your mother's longevity. I think you're set pretty nice.
We have big hopes. But it's interesting that you say that. So I hadn't thought of this, but so do you create parts of your business differently based on stage, not age?
We mostly think about stage. We don't think so much about age.
Okay.
And I have a couple of things to say about that. So usually the stage that we work with are folks experiencing cognitive decline, or they just have not had a lot of experience with technology and they struggle with technology. But we really built this product based on customer feedback. And going back to the background, when we created our first version of our product, so you can take a video call and put it on the TV so you can see your loved ones during COVID very easily in life size. We put it on for sale on Amazon, and it wasn't really a senior product. It was more like let's make it easier for everybody. And people bought it, and we'd hear from some of them, hey, it's got bugs, it doesn't work, I want my money back. But the people that really work through the bugs, because a 1.0 product that you kind of build in your garage, it might have a couple of bugs. By the way, the one that you bought, Valerie, is far more advanced than our 1.0.
Oh, good.
You're in good shape, don't worry. But those folks that reported the problems, worked with us, told us what they wanted to see, told us how they were supporting their parents who were developing early stage dementia. And their parents were in assisted living or in memory care, and it was COVID, and they really had no other way to see them. So they had this high pain point of wanting to be able to reach their parents when nothing else worked. So we really started building for that stage, the stage where no other technology works for you, really. You're not going to, maybe you can pick up the phone, maybe you can't. But we created a solution where the TV automatically turns on, you don't have to do anything, and you see your daughter, right?
So let's go back to the beginning a little bit, and let's start for the listeners and the viewers who aren't familiar. What is OnScreen, and what problem does it aim to solve for seniors and their families?
Yeah, so our Our mission is generally to remove technical barriers to keep people connected. That's our mission. And we started with this video calling product on the TV. So right now on screen looks like this, and I hope you can see it because I don't have my self view on. Maybe I should.
We've got it. We've got it.
But it's kind of like a Roku with a camera and built-in microphones, and you just attach it with an HDMI cable to your TV. And now it's able to control that TV fully automated. So if I want to call my mom, it will automatically turn the TV on. It'll give my mom a 30-second ringing counter that says Costin is calling, automatically answering in 28, 27, 26. And then after that 30-second countdown, I pop up on her TV and she didn't have to do anything. And a really important part is when the call is over, then the TV goes back to where it was before. So maybe Price is Right, or it turns
Jeopardy.
up Jeopardy, anything, right? So that's where we started with this completely simplified, easiest possible video communication solution.
So the idea originally was to make it a way for you to almost like a call, a video call, right? That was the original plan.
Video call and more like a visit. I wanted to be able to visit, and because the TV's so big, mom sees me life size, and it's really engaging, and it's just the best experience mom can have with video calling.
Okay, great.
And I will say that I don't use an on-screen device. I would just use my mobile device, and there's an on-screen app, and I just use that and I call from here. So I see mom just like I would see anybody else on FaceTime.
Okay. All right. Well, we haven't gotten to that point yet. Yeah. So can you walk through, and I know there are so many and I'm excited. I really want to talk about a lot of these individual features, but can you walk us through some of the key features of OnScreen and how they're designed specifically for the senior?
Yeah. So we started with video calls, and that was one-on-one. Then we also added Zoom sessions. So if you have an extended family, let's say mom's got 4 children, and every Sunday we want to get everybody together, plus some cousins and whatever, and now you got a 10-person Zoom. That family member who bought mom the on-screen device, she can just use the mobile app and just drop mom into the Zoom. So mom will automatically get connected to the Zoom, doesn't have to deal with meeting codes or any of that. And she can see the entire family on her TV. It's quite nice.
And it goes through Zoom, the Zoom program?
It's through Zoom. Yeah, we have integrated the Zoom client into our app. So then we added things like text messaging. So I want to just send mom a little lovegram. Hey, mom, love you, thinking about you. The grandkids say hi. And that just pops up on the TV, sits up there for about a minute, and then goes away. You usually send that maybe at the beginning or at the end of her favorite show when you know she might be there, and you can just send her that. You can also send her photos, family photos.
Oh, okay.
So same with the mobile app, you just kind of go through your photos and you send them and they show up on the TV. And with that, we also have a picture gallery, so mom can hit a couple of buttons on the remote and pull up the picture gallery and kind of look through everything that's been sent to her. You can also send her videos. So if little Timmy just scored a goal at soccer, you can send that to her and it just shows up right on her TV. Okay, so we bridged the gap for the family between kind of like the mobile life that we're all used to, pushing it to the TV, which is the screen that older adults are very, very comfortable with. What else do we do? We also have video check-ins. So if you wanted to see how your mom was doing, you can tell mom, hey mom, how about this? Every day at lunch, I'm going to set up the TV to record 1 minute, okay? So it'll pop up on the TV and say, how are you feeling today? And then you just make a 1 minute recording. So mom does her little recording and then you get it on your mobile, okay?
Okay.
So now you get peace of mind every day. You see how mom's looking, how the whole living room is looking, because our camera is pretty wide view of the whole room, and it brings you peace of mind. Okay.
So how does on-screen make it easier? And I think you're answering this. How does it make it easier for the seniors who might not feel comfortable with technology, but how does it help them then stay connected with their loved ones?
Yeah, so everything I just described, the older adult doesn't have to do anything. Okay? They can just be sitting on their couch and all of this stuff is happening automatically. Okay? There's no apps for them. I did mention a remote if you wanted to look through the picture gallery, but that's not absolutely necessary. So we've made it so it's fully automated, nothing to touch, no technology to deal with. You just get to see,
That's a good thing.
yeah, you just get to see your daughter, or you get to see photos that they sent onto the TV. So in that way, there's no user interface, there's no complexity whatsoever for them.
So the we'll call it the parent, the aging adult, the relative, whoever, then they don't have to do anything, but can they reach out to you? Can they send you a message or?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. So we do offer a remote, and we also offer an AI companion. So let me tell you a little bit about Joy, our AI companion on the
Please
TV.
do. She's here on my list. Please tell us about her.
Yeah. So, we've all seen the Alexas and Series and all of that, but there's data that shows that older adults don't engage with them, right? They don't like to talk to the bots or to the AIs or whatever, right? Especially because the wake word is often tricky if you haven't grown up with it. So you got to say, "Hey Alexa, pause,"
Oh,
then give your request, right?
sure. Yes.
So that has a low success rate if you haven't grown up with it. So the way we've done it is on our remote we have big blue button with a happy face on it. You just click that button, and our companion Joy will show up, and you can say things like, "Hey, I'm in the mood for some comedy," and using on-screen as your TV platform, Joy will say, "Hey, well, we have the I Love Lucy channel, we've got the Love Boat channel, we've got all kinds of six shows from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. On-screen actually comes with 250 channels powered by Pluto TV."
Okay.
Which is a free TV streaming network that's ad supported. But they do such a fantastic job to bring these classic channels, so all kinds of stuff that older adults love. So you can tell the AI companion, "Hey, I want to watch this." And she's like, "Okay, let me put that on for you." And then she'll put it on. Okay. So you just have to push that one button and you get your AI companion, and she helps you with that. The other things we do with the AI companion is she can be set up to proactively visit. So instead of having to push a button or say a wake word, you can again set it up for your mom at 12:30. Joy will come up on her TV and ask mom if she's taken her medication today, which is very, very important, right?
Yes.
And then for 2 o'clock, you can set up Joy to show up and play a game of trivia with your mom.
That
Okay.
would be fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of keep her cognitively engaged. And you can tell Joy about your mom. You can tell her about your mom's interests. You can tell her who the family members are. And Joy will engage in a really friendly and empathetic way and be a companion on the TV in the simplest and easiest way possible that I've seen done in the market.
So let's take a minute,
Mm-hmm.
if we can do this, and talk about AI, because you and I use AI like Chat GPT every day. And you're probably at a level way above me on Chat GPT. But for a lot of people, those of us who don't use it every day, AI is still a foreign language.
Yeah.
And it's something like they read about in George Orwell's book or something. So what so you and I know that AI can, if if you tell it things, it then knows things and it creates things. So for example, what I'm hearing you say is that because it knows that if first of all, it's in a senior product. And so I'm assuming that you've given it some prompts. So
Yeah.
if we tell it, mom likes things like my mother loves shows that have horses in it. There's
Okay.
a show she watches called Homeland or something, and I think she's watched it because they have horses. So if
Yeah.
I tell it she likes dramas that also have horses,
Yeah.
right? I would assume that then it can pull out. Or if you say she likes I Love Lucy, then Joy will say, oh, if she likes I Love Lucy, she must also like, right? So can you talk about that a little bit and what AI will do in this case?
Yeah. Well, if you set up our AI, and the way you set it up is using our mobile app, you kind of go through a couple of screens to tell the AI about your mom, then all the conversations will be seeded with that information. And she'll always ask about, hey, do you want to watch a show with some horses today? You know, it's really just incredible and magical what these ChatGPT like tools can do, and the technical term is the large language model, right?
Yes, but that's way too complicated. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just it's a delightful new technology that it feels human sometimes. You know, like I have my 9-year-old have 10-minute long conversations with Joy. And he's asking about roller coasters, and he's asking about dinosaurs, and he's asking about this. And these AIs, they are powered by the world's information because the way they build them, they've scoured the entire internet. Just like Google has scoured the entire internet and has every web page and whatever, these things took in all the books, all the internet, and so it can talk about just about any topic. And if you prompt it to say you are patient, you are empathetic, you are a friend to an older adult, it will craft its language
Oh,
so
sure.
that it fits that
Sure.
request. It's just magical.
And so I would assume that you can also ask it to take you to, you want to see the Eiffel Tower today?
Well, so what we have done, so let's talk about that. That's a whole other set of features from OnScreen. This is less related to AI, but Joy does give you access to this content. But we've partnered with a couple of amazing companies that produce live Zoom classes and live Zoom events for older adults. And
So I want to hear about this. I want you to talk about that. Tell
yeah,
us about it.
so one company, for example, is Discover Live, and they do international travel through Zoom that you can just attend. And there's a tour guide in Paris, for example, and they're just walking around with their camera. It's being broadcast into the Zoom setting, and you can ask that person live, hey, would you mind going into that pub over there? Or would you mind walking into that flower shop and showing us what kind? And we bring that to OnScreen. We bring it to the TV.
And it's live. You
It's
can
live.
actually talk to that person in Paris or Amsterdam or in
Yep.
wherever. That's
Yep.
amazing. So, I heard something like this, and maybe it was about OnScreen, where someone was talking about that you can ask, you can ask the tour guide to take you inside a place, and maybe it's a place you've been before. Oh my gosh, you're on that street, or
Ex-
you're in Provence, and I would love to go to where Van Gogh painted, Starry Night or whatever. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's live. They're there, and through, the magic of the internet and cellular networks and a good connection, you're walking through with your camera, and that's being broadcast all around the world to people that are sitting in a Zoom meeting with you. So,
that's
so what
incredible.
so that's happening, but for folks that are 80, 90, 100 who would have a hard time joining such a Zoom meeting or figuring that whole thing out, we bring it automatically to the TV. So the way we do it is we present a list of upcoming events, and usually the family caregiver sees this list, tells mom, hey mom, there's a Paris tour, there is a meditation class, there's a chair yoga class at these different times. Do you want me to register you? Yeah, register me. And once you're registered, then the TV automatically joins the class at that right time.
Oh, I see. So that's how it works.
That's how it works. And again, the older adult who might struggle with technology doesn't have to do anything. They don't touch anything.
So we can sit down with my mom, and actually we don't even have to go there, right? We can work with her. We can say, okay, mom, tomorrow there's a tour of the new Notre Dame, right?
Yep.
Or there's a tour of, Washington, D.C. or whatever.
Yep.
And we can program it so then it goes on mom's TV. Is that correct?
Exactly right.
That's
Exactly.
just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Now, Costin, I've also heard about, and you touched on it briefly, about things like clubs. So I heard someone say, and I thought I heard it at the Age Tech conference where we were in LA, so maybe it was you that said it, about how someone can go into a Zoom call or a gardening club in England.
So that one I haven't heard about, specifically a gardening club in England, but there could
Well,
be.
maybe not in England, but
Yeah.
and so my mom could join it because it's a Zoom call. It's like a live thing.
Well, you can go out on the internet, and if you find that there's a gardening club in England and they meet every Tuesday at noon, you can enter that inside of our app and set it up as a schedule, and then your mom will be joined to that.
Yeah, that would be just amazing. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So we obviously there's so many things we could talk about, but let's keep going.
I did want to go back to Joy, our AI, right?
Please do. Yes.
And she's kind of at the center of orchestrating all these great things.
Okay.
And you as the caregiver, you're always in control because you tell Joy what you want Joy to do and help you with. But if mom's lonely, you can have Joy check in the morning at 10 a.m., ask her how her day's going, tell her some jokes, play some trivia. You could set it up again to do the same at 4 o'clock, right? As I mentioned, also, you can set it up at 9, noon, and 6 to check if she's taking her medication. Let's say she's taking meds 3 times a day. It could serve as a reminder, and just she will have a conversation about the medication, and you will get the information if she took it or not in the mobile app. Okay? So when you're setting up these reminders and these interactions with our AI, you get to see everything that's happening from the mobile app's perspective. Okay. So if mom ever says, no, I didn't take the medication, it's really been making me groggy, when Joy asks her if you've taken your medication, then Joy will say something like, okay, well, it's important to talk to your doctor about your medication if you're not feeling good about it, and stay healthy. Bye for now. And then Joy goes away and the TV goes back to the regular programming. However, within seconds, you get a notification that says, mom has not taken her medication. You may want to check in with her.
Oh, is that right? That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And you can see historically. So if she's taking it some days and then not taking it some days, you get that record. So Joy can really help you stay on top of mom's health, right? And we also have a couple of other prompts for Joy that are like, check on mom's pain or mom's mood, right? So Joy can ask, do you have any pain today? What's your pain level from 1 to 10?
But Joy may not want to ask my mom. She talks a lot.
But isn't that the beautiful thing? Because Joy has all the patience in the world.
Yes, she does.
I think most moms talk a lot.
Right. So when she's talking, we could just say, oh, let me introduce you to my friend Joy, right?
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I don't want to be cynical about it, but
no, I don't either. But
Joy will chat and tell stories and talk.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, she'll talk about horses. She'll talk about Westerns. She'll talk about what's your favorite Western movie star, what's your favorite breed of horse. She will talk about any topic endlessly. And it's incredible for the loneliness problem, right?
Yeah, and just imagine, and I know you do, you're the imagination behind this, the solution this is for people who are lonely.
Yeah.
And my mom, for example, is, I don't want to talk about my mom a lot, but she's 105. She still lives by herself. And but she wants somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
And she would just love that. Well, she's going to as soon as we get it installed. And she's going to be your poster child, that maybe your oldest customer. And
I
that would
love
be
it.
fascinating, wouldn't it? You
Yeah.
could say from 65 to 105.
Love it.
So I saw somewhere that this says share YouTube. How do you share YouTube on screen?
Yeah. So this entire experience that I've described, where you can set up Joy to show up at 9, show up at noon, show up at 4. You can also set up just text reminders. Hey, don't forget to take, like, it could just be text as well. But you can also set up YouTube videos to pop up on the TV anytime you want. So let's say, again, mom really likes stuff about horses. You can create a playlist in YouTube that you just keep going and changing and swapping out horse videos. And you can have it play Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. on mom's TV. And it's almost like creating her own little TV station with whatever playlist you want.
And so she doesn't have to go in and find the video and YouTube and all of that. We
That's
just
right.
program it for her.
That's right.
That's incredible. So she likes watching my radio shows.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I could just program one for her every week. And
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And we do it two ways. We can do it as a schedule, as a routine, where, every day or every other day she gets the show that you sent, or you could just do it live. So if you're on your phone and you really want to just push a YouTube video to mom right now, you can do that as well. Just in real time, push this YouTube video and it goes straight to her TV and she can watch it right then and there.
right, I might be watching and somebody say, hey, this is really cool, Mom. I know you would like it. Right.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah.
Or she wanted to watch some event like a coronation or something like that. Right. We see it and we can just put it right on there.
Yeah.
Or a launching of a starship or something.
Yeah, the Starship, the Falcon 9s, all of those cool things. As long as you've got the YouTube link for it, the URL, you can just pop it into our app and push it. And now mom sees it on her TV.
I've seen, and because of course I've studied you and your website, and I've seen testimonials from family members who said this was absolutely a life changer. Before that, I was worried about my mom. Now I get to connect with her, but at my convenience, and the stories that people have to tell are pretty amazing. So do you have any heartwarming stories from customers whose lives you've changed or been really touched by OnScreen?
Yeah, I mean, it's endless, really. For example, we have one customer that loves OnScreen. Her father has pretty advanced dementia. And she uses OnScreen to call him and see him, but she also uses it, and almost like every night she sets up his reminders for tomorrow. And she sets it up so that on the TV it says, today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, and like anything that she really needs him to be cognizant of, she sets it up on OnScreen and she pushes it out. So that was amazing. Another one, I think there's a video about this. This gentleman, he has an only child. His mom lives in India. He bought OnScreen. He flew to India, installed it at her house, and now he calls her like 3 times a day from the US.
So we could do this. We have family members in Holland, in Amsterdam. So we could do this with Aunt Marco. Yeah, pretty amazing.
It's an international platform. Really, all you need is good internet. I think for Europe, you might need the power adapter. It's a different power, but that's it. Yeah, and it works anywhere. We have distributors in Canada at this point. We've had some conversations about getting distributors in the UK. It's a really powerful product. I mean, taking the TV and turning it into something helpful to take care of your mom, to help you, and not just the TV doesn't take care of it. You're still the one taking care. You're still the one who's always thinking about how mom's doing. it assists you and it brings mom joy all day long.
Yeah, this is just an amazing product. So what are some of the objections that you see or hear people who, it seems, I mean, like, why wouldn't everybody do this? So what are the things that bother people that keep them away from this? Is it just the fear of technology?
It's not just the fear of technology, because like I said, there's really nothing for anybody to do. It is the fear of Big Brother.
Oh,
It is the fear of having a camera, right? Because we have a camera right here. And there are some folks, as soon as they see a camera, they're like, you're not putting a camera in my living room.
oh,
The thing I would like to tell them is, hey, it closes. It fully closes and it can only be opened by you. This cannot be automatically opened. But some folks, they just have these privacy concerns, and it's not for them, and that's okay. It's obviously there's all kinds of solutions in the world, and they're not all for everybody. So if you have privacy concerns, or also with Alzheimer's, like one of the conditions that arises is paranoia,
mhm.
right? So we've had situations where it didn't pan out because of that. The other challenges I will say is the person that's doing the installation. You have to be comfortable just with your TV. You got to be able to set up a DVR or a DVD player or a Roku. If you're not comfortable doing that, you should seek out somebody, a friend, a relative who can hook it up to the TV.
Sure.
But I did want to tell you, Valerie, we are launching something brand new that I'm not sure if you saw on our website, and maybe this is my chance to put it out there in the world.
Well, we would love to be the one to make the announcement. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, like you have to be comfortable with the TV, and maybe also some people are like, "Don't touch my TV. My TV is my temple. Don't touch it." Right? So what we've done is we've created a tablet version of everything we do. We're not selling a tablet. We're just going to be launching an app in the Apple App Store or in the Google Play Store, where you can install the OnScreen Joy app, and you can turn any tablet into a caregiving device. And the way it works is, once you install it, your tablet kind of becomes a picture frame. So you can load up all these pictures. It'll always be on. You want to put it somewhere where mom's always going to see it. And then you get all of the benefits of OnScreen. So if you call mom, the tablet will ring for 30 seconds and it'll automatically answer. So she doesn't have to do anything. Okay. You can set up reminders, take your medication, you have a doctor's appointment at 2, etc. You can set up Joy to show up and tell jokes and play trivia, etc. And then also things like the Zoom classes, the activities, all of that can also be set up. If you want to push a YouTube video, you can do all of that. All of these great things, other than the TV functionality. We didn't bake in the Pluto TV piece.
Okay.
Right? So, and it's a lot more affordable. So our TV-based solution is about $130 and $30 a month. This is just going to be $10 a month. Okay. And the way I see it is, everybody who's into technology, so usually you have a kind of a techie adult child buying tech for mom. All those folks, they have tablets in a drawer.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
not being used.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And now you can take one of those, load OnScreen on it, give it to mom, and now you have a way to keep mom on task with her medication, pictures of the family, video calls, Zoom calls, classes, AI companion, and all of that. So it's a beautiful way to just get more value out of your existing tablets that you have.
So when I read that OnScreen has an element, we'll call it, for dementia care, it would be in this way where people can stay connected that way.
It is so powerful to see each other, and I believe it's like if you don't see someone for 2 or 3 days, if you're mid-stage Alzheimer's, that's when you start to forget them, right?
Uh,
So if you're able to push the reminder of who this person is and call them every day or every other day, it'll preserve that memory for as long as possible.
and so we talked about this and answer a question again for our viewers and our listeners. So how many people can you connect to this? Mom has a family of 4, they have a family of 8 kids, or a family of 2, or nobody, but they have friends. How do you connect them, and how many people can you connect?
It's unlimited. So once you have either the on-screen TV device or you have the on-screen tablet device, once you start inviting the family, there's no limit to how many family members you can invite that can then connect with mom.
So everyone could send a message at their time of day,
Send a
or
message, make a call. Setting up the routines, that's mostly for the administrator of the whole thing, the first person, the primary caregiver. They're the
sure.
ones that set up the reminders and the routines. But to make a call or to send a text message or send a photo, the rest of the family is unlimited.
And have you been able to add anything, Costin, for the those with accessibility issues such as hearing or vision impairments?
Um, we are still working on some of that, like adding closed captioning to our video
Okay.
calls.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, we do find that the TV is probably one of your loudest devices in the house, and that's one reason why our customers
Yes,
love
it is.
us,
Yeah.
right? But I will mention our big win at CES was from working with the Consumer Technology Association. They had an innovation challenge
Uh-huh.
on how your technology can be used to support the IDD community. And IDD is the intellectually and developmentally disabled. So autism, Down syndrome, those types of disabilities fall in
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
we won because we showed how our AI companion can support better access to healthcare, better learning, easier learning, how our automatic video call answering can help that community stay more connected with their family. So all of those things resonated. And because of that win, I definitely think we're going to be doing much more work with the accessibility community.
That would be so great if
Yeah.
you could do that.
Yeah.
And as well, there's always things are so good and that you've come so far, but yet then the more you think, then you think, but what if we could do this also, right?
Yeah. There's always more to be done.
Yep, absolutely. So, Costin, how do you see the age tech industry evolving in the next? I would say the 5 to 10 years, but 10 years things will be so different. We'll be in a different world. We won't be driving our cars. Everything will be different. So let's just even try to say 5 years, knowing that a year from now, still things will be drastically
Right.
different.
Yeah. Well, I think AI, robotics, they're going to make huge impact on caregiving and supporting the older adult population.
In
So,
in in what way?
yeah. So if we just started with, for example, our joy product,
Hmm.
companionship and loneliness and and being an assistant in the home, just and not even have a physical body, but just be something that can book your doctor's appointments for you, order you an Uber, set up your DoorDash or your grocery delivery, all of that. You just talk to Joy, and Joy does all of those things for you. That would be incredible, right? I would
Yes, it would be.
I would
If
say we're probably a year
Is
from
that
that,
right?
from being able to do that, right? And then there is this massive caregiver shortage
Yes,
affecting older adults.
we're hearing that. Yes, we are.
Yeah. And like you said, there's going to be more 65-year-olds and plus, and then there's going to be 18-year-olds under, right? So I think robotics is going to be a big field in age tech. Tesla is working on the Optimus robot. It's a full body robot that will likely help people, you know, get around the house, will cook for them, will help with folding laundry, will help with physical labor around the house. There's another company called Figure that's also working on a similar thing. These robots are going to be something like $90,000 for the robot, and it's going to come down 50,000, 30,000.
Yeah.
Imagine you amortize that over 5 years, and now you have a caregiver in the home, robot butler, just like the Jetsons. It's going to happen in the next 10 years.
It is. I spent the time to listen to part of the opening speech from Jensen Wang. Is that his name?
Yep.
And it's just in a matter of what can you imagine? And he even says that there will be things that we can't even imagine.
Yeah.
But how this could affect seniors is just pretty phenomenal. I sit here and I listen to you and think of the things that this could do for my mom or my sister-in-law in Amsterdam who's by herself because she has mobility issues with Parkinson's, and could just be incredible. And you probably don't even know yet what you'll be doing a year or two from now, right? Where you'll be able to take this.
All I know is that we'll be innovating and we'll be bringing all this wonderful technology to the people in a way that's easy to use, user-friendly, and helps solve real-world problems. That's what we're going to be doing.
And it sounds like, as we talk, that the role of caregivers and families plays so much in the acceptance of technology, because we know that there are societal issues where people are lonely, isolation issues where they need help with reminders and dementia and so forth. So one thing it would seem is we need to just get the family members and the caregivers on board.
Well, I will just say, like 99% of the buyers of the OnScreen product is the family, not the older adult. Like, it's very rare that we have a customer that's 75 plus, 80 that bought it for themselves. It's always the family buying it for mom and setting mom up with it.
If there's one thing you would like our audience to know about OnScreen that we haven't talked about yet, what would you like them to know, and how would you like to touch them?
I would love it if they reached out to us with questions, so they can always email us at care@onscreeninc.com. That's onscreeninc.com. Find us on social media. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn. I want to hear from them. And if they want more information, they can go to our website, onscreeninc.com, OnScreen Inc. And this is just such a privilege to be here on your show, Valerie, and thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for being here. Let me ask you, are you where you would like to be at this stage with OnScreen? Have you accomplished more, or at least as much as what you had hoped to?
There are some challenges in building age tech companies, such as finding funding, finding investors that care about this problem and want to be a part of it.
Yep.
So we've had our challenges in finding those investors, but we won the Age Tech After Dark pitch competition last year at the AARP Age Tech After Dark pitch at CES. We won the CTA Foundation pitch competition this year. So we keep getting these signals from the universe that we're doing good things and on the right
doing
tracks.
Something right.
So
thank you so much. Thank you so very much for being with us. That is a wrap, unfortunately, for today's episode of Always Ageless. A huge thank you to Costin for sharing his insights into this exciting world of age tech, even though it is tech, and how OnScreen is bridging the gap between seniors and their loved ones. I hope today's conversation helped you, our viewers and listeners, think differently about how technology can support not just connection, but independence and quality of life for aging adults. Join us again next week for an uplifting episode and informative conversation designed to help you live boldly, thrive fully, and enjoy life at every adventure. Until then, remember, age is just a number and life's best moments are still ahead. Thank you so much for joining us today on Always Ageless.